Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto became the god of lightning over an Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And over Anime King 2 I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the Rarest Bloodline, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember, if you're new, yeah, you heard that correctly, I have 3 channels: Anime King 2 and Anime King 3. Links will be down in the description for Anime King and Anime King 2, so you guys can enjoy the what ifs that I post every single day. Yes, so yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto was currently clashing against Gaara, Amoy had been knocked out. Gaara-san had slammed him into the wall. It even tried to crush him if Naruto hadn't ciphered it off, using his cosmic blade that was named Viper. The blade was able to cut through literally anything. Now that left Gaara and Naruto inside of the arena, the both of them eyeing each other as they circle around each other. Their battle was gonna be glorious, it seems. Gaara came in for the kill several times as Naruto had to leap and dodge away, as everyone was at the edge of their seat when the sand came down to squash Naruto down into nothingness. But the moment it grabbed onto him tight though, Naruto was able to turn the sand into water. Gaara was shocked as he lost control. For that split second that he left himself open, Naruto capitalized on it. A brutal, swift hit was delivered to Gaara that picked him off his feet. He smashed into the wall. Temari and Conqueror were beyond shock. Never seen someone dealt with their brother this way before. It didn't stop there though, as Naruto moved like a blur. Fist after fist, kick after kick, Gaara was being dominated. His sand not moving fast enough to help him, as it was soaked. As Naruto grabbed onto Gaara, something then happened as he grabbed onto him. As the cosmic energy flowed into Gaara's seal, an eruption exploded around them as Naruto found himself inside of Gaara's mindscape. Kurama was there as a fox told Naruto to get off his head, which Naruto did as he looked around. Well, after checking the fox wouldn't eat him, seeing that Kurama was out of his cage, and looking up at him now, it was quite a dangerous sight. Gaara asked what he was doing here as Naruto turned, as he saw the Shikaku form. Kurama got up to his full height, as he put the Shikaku in its place. After all, the human bodies can only last for so long, and the Bijus were eternal, so Shikaku knew that he couldn't withstand the might of Kurama when he came bearing down on him. It was then that something strange came. As Naruto felt exhausted, it seems like energy was being siphoned out of his body to reform something in front of him. Gaara was shocked when he felt that warm feeling from this person, his mother. Her soul was sealed along with the Ichibai inside of him. Upon her death, after all, the beast was placed inside of him while he was still in womb, so her soul was sealed away as well by accident. She told Gaara how much she loved him, and in her last ditch effort she told him that she would not let the Ichibai continue to corrupt his mind, as she wanted him to pick and live his own choices, as she used her last remaining spiritual energy granted to her by Naruto using something to reshape her body, which he didn't even know the hell that he did. As she strengthened his seal, pushing Shikaku back into the mindscape. As Shikaku was furious But no matter how he struggled, he could not get free, as he was pushed down, kept locked on their key. As Gaara blinked, everything then went white, as Naruto found himself outside the mindscape. As everyone wondered what the hell just happened. As Hayate jumped down, both of them were on the ground, when Naruto suddenly picked up himself. As Hiruzen came down to notice that Naruto was basically unconscious, his eyes were responsive, but his body was so exhausted to the point he couldn't even form a proper sentence. But he was the one that was standing and Gaara was out cold. As Naruto was declared the winner, Naruto woke up in the hospital to see Hinata, as she told him about the upcoming matches. After that, Naruto made his way as he met up with Gaara. Gaara, feeling different and thanking Naruto, wanted to tell him something about the upcoming invasion. But something happened as both Gaara and Naruto were able to see Reza, the fourth Kazekage, being killed by a bone spike through the chest. As Orochimaru was there thanking someone named Shikamaru. Naruto still didn't know how he did this, but it gave them information that they needed desperately. So they went to Hiruzen as Hiruzen summoned Baki. The man was surprised as he wanted to flee, but the envoys in the office wouldn't allow him to. But he also noticed something strange happening with the Kazekage, and the Hokage told him that it was Orochimaru. That was quite shocking. So they've been led by a Konoha missing in all this time. That was bad. Very, very bad. As they will start this out, but Hiruzen wanted to make sure that it kept quiet so that the relationship between the Sand and Konoha wasn't destroyed, as he was doing this for the sake of peace, and also he wanted to correct the mistake he made so long ago by ending Orochimaru once and for all. So yeah guys, that's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place and check it out yourself. So what is the beginning of this new episode? Temari couldn't explain the recent activities. Things have changed so quickly, it shocked her to no end. For one, she found out that her father was dead. That didn't weigh on her heart so much because he was never much of a father to any of them. He always used that belt to hurt Gaara. Despite her trying to be there for Gaara, he couldn't show her the love that he wanted to, because he was never grow with it, and he doesn't understand it. So it was hard for him to express himself at all. Yes, it was rather difficult, and it was hard for her to come to terms with that. But she felt like she was slowly losing her brother over and over again. And her father made it even worse. He treated all of them like they were some political gains. Gaara was a beast that he had control over. She was a daughter of the Kazekage. She never had much freedom. Guys rarely spoke to her or even asked her out. Either they were afraid of Gaara or they were afraid of her father. Kankuro was a good brother, but he was level-headed and cool. Yeah, she spent more time with him, but recent activities were now currently surprising. Gaara had spoke to her in the nicest way possible, and he also told her that mother loved her. At first she was thinking that it was the Shikaku, but he explained, as she couldn't understand herself, not even Gaara understand it, but Naruto had something to do with it that made her brother found peace, and her mother was there as well that told him to pass on a message that she loved all of them. Kankuro couldn't believe that it was happening, as he thought it was a joke at first, but Gaara doesn't make jokes. But Gaara has mellowed out as he apologized for all the wrong things that he has done in the past. That certainly has shocked her to no end. At the moment, they were still in the village. The reason being, it was a sign of good fate from the Hidden Sand, knowing that the Kazekage is an imposter. They allowed the three Genins to stay there, to show that they meant or they weren't going to cause any harm, while Baki had went to the sand and delivered the scroll. The Kazekage was out on one of his errands that he's been running lately. He said that he took a team with him, his protective bodyguard patrol, but Baki had searched the team roster and there was no one that was missing. So, it was indeed Orochimaru who was lying about his whereabouts. The council had been completely terrified of the wrath of Konoha, knowing that they were tricked so easily by that snake. And if they go up against Konoha now, especially without the Kazekage, even if they did have one, they would be crushed by the leaf. So they offered their assistance to Konoha. So the plan was formed. There was a lot of talks that were sent through messages to the Hidden Sand Council from Hiruzen for them to create a proper counter-effect plan. But everything was being kept on the down low for the moment, so everyone that knew kept their mouth shut. At the moment, Temari was currently looking for him, as she wanted to know what did he do to her brother, and on the other hand, she wanted to apologize. She didn't know why the hell she needed to apologize. She shook that out of her head. She just wanted to know what did he do to her brother, and how was he able to see her mother. Gaara told her that her mother's spirit was now gone, after she wished them good luck, and that she was proud of them. But she still wanted to know what happened. But she couldn't find him in the village, and she didn't know where he lived. She was just looking around to see if she see any of his friends, either the Hyuga, or the Uchiha, or his sensei, but she saw none of them. She sighed as she made her way, until she felt something held onto her arm. She was quite shocked until she was pulled into the alleyway. Something braced right on her, stopping her from moving. Her eyes were screaming bloody murder to hurt this person, whoever he was. But to her surprise, it was him, giving her that calm smile. "Shh, you calm now?" he said. As her eyes glared at him, Naruto backed off. "So, you've been looking for me?" "What? How did you..." "You're walking around the village, somewhere that you barely know people. And out of the other Leaf Shinobis, we had the most interaction, so I guess that you were looking for me. Am I right?" said Naruto. "I'll give you that. Yes, I was looking for you. So tell me, darling, what do you want?" "Don't call me darling," she said. "I'm not your darling." If you say so." "So what's up?" Naruto asks. "What did you do to my brother?" she asks. "He's acting different." "Bad different?" Naruto asks. "No, good different," she said. "So tell me, what exactly happened?" "To tell you the truth, darling, I have no idea." Her eye twitched. "Stop calling me darling," she said. "You see, I don't really know how it worked out, but it did. And Gaara was able to meet his mother. And with him no longer under the influence of Shikaku." "Wait, he's not under it anymore?" "He didn't tell you?" "Well, he didn't talk about that. He just said that he met her mother. So it's not messing with his mind anymore?" "No," said Naruto. "So he should be just fine now." She released a sigh. "Well, I guess I have to thank you for that." "Thank me," said Naruto. "You know I'm kind of angry at you, right?" "Why?" she asked. She shook her head. Why did her voice came out so timid? Why did she care if he was angry? "I mean, you were planning on invading the village. I can't believe you do something like that to me." Her eye twitched. "Look, orders were orders, and it's not like I really know you that much." "Really? I thought we had a connection," said Naruto. "Well, you were wrong." "Well, I'm gonna stay mad at you," said Naruto. "And being your only friend in Konoha right now, that wouldn't work out so good for you. Well, I'll be leaving soon anyway." Naruto slammed his hand on the wall, trapping her in place. "What are you doing?" "Well, I'm gonna give you a chance to apologize." "Apologize for what?" "For trying to destroy my village. And by the way, you kind of owe me." "Owe you?" "Well, not that I want to brag or anything, but me and Gaara are good friends now, and I kind of helped him. So in turns, you just thanked me, so you owe me. And I'm not gonna accept that apology till you, well, do something for me." "And what the hell do you want?" "It's simple. I kiss," said Naruto. Temari blinked as she looked at him with utter shock on her face. No one has ever been this forward with her before. She hasn't had her first kiss before, so this was quite shocking. "Well," said Naruto, "I'll let you think about that," he said. "Other than that, I won't accept your apology." "And why do you think I will care?" she asked. "Just have a suspicion," said Naruto as he started to walk off. As she watched him leave, how arrogant can he be? Should she... She shook her head. Why was she even thinking this over? Why should she even care about him? As she walked off, her mind perplexed, despite not caring about him. What the hell was wrong with her? Meanwhile, at a secret location, as none other than a snake's son himself, Orochimaru, he had a rather jovial smile on his face. And as you can see, everything is being set up perfectly. Konoha don't know what hit them. As I must apologize in saying so, but Konoha is still one of the strongest in the village. The man across from him grumbled a bit. "So I knew that you will benefit a lot from his demise. That is why I came to you," Orochimaru said. "So tell me, do you want a part of the profits after the demise of Konoha. In such I get your help. You can even personally come there to show your face. After all, when the mightiest had fallen, there need to be someone there to gather and show themselves as number one when there is no one else left to rule. So tell me, Orochimaru said, do you accept? Why should I align the snake like you, the man said, that was sitting across from him? Well, other than the benefit that you will reap from this decision, I don't see why not. I want Konoha to go down, and so do you for the longest time now. So I'm sure that we can come to some mutual agreement in the demise of that village. So what do you say, Orochimaru asks. As the man across from him narrowed his eyes, if you betray me, I will bring down hell on you and everything you hold dear, the man said. Orochimaru simply chuckled, a soft chuckle. Oh, don't worry. Once this is said and done, once Konoha has finally fallen, you won't have to see me again if you don't want to. Alright, fine. You got yourself a deal. But remember my words kindly, snake. If you choose to betray me, I will make sure you never walk this earth in peace again. Oh, don't worry. I wouldn't dare betray you, Orochimaru said. Meanwhile, at Konoha, the sand was taken care of. But there was another force that was coming to Konoha as well. They invade in the attack. Naruto made his way as he heard that Jiraiya was back in the village. Yet the man hadn't come to visit him, as he grumbled to himself. He made his way to the only place where the old perv might be. As Naruto hopped before landing down, he stopped outside the hot springs. Making his way around the corner, there was a rather large tree that hung over, and someone was up in the tree, spying with binoculars. He knew it. Naruto silently made his way towards the tree as he ducked and crawled in the grass. Just a bit of payback, he thought to himself. Arriving at the tree, Naruto placed both hands on it and shrunk it. Jiraiya stumbled as he fell. He was about to fall on the ground, but a wind attack blew him right in the hot springs. Screams erupted everywhere from the ladies inside, before those screams turned to rage as the living crap was beaten out of Jiraiya. When he finally managed to escape, he came up to the laughing blonde who was laughing his ass off. You think this is funny, brat, Jiraiya said, with his eyes twitching, and the man was fuming. Of course, said Naruto, as he dropped on his back, holding on to his stomach, chuckling. The first thing you do when coming back to the village is going peeping, you old perv. You not even came to say hi, said Naruto. Miss me? Jiraiya asked. Of course not, but your perverted attitude is getting in the way of us talking, said Naruto. Stop goating around the fat brat, you miss me, huh? As Naruto mumbled something, Jiraiya got back up like nothing just happened. After all, he was used to it. So, he says he made his way over. How have you been? As he placed an arm on Naruto's shoulder. I heard that you got two lovely ladies to move in with you. So how's that like, he asked. Well, said Naruto, time skipped. As Jiraiya had spent the entire time. After all, he knew about the upcoming event and of Orochimaru's attack. They'd already started our plans with the sand, so there will be no fallout with them. But little did Konoha know that another group was joining into the fray. A group that was more destructive than the sand. But they thought that they have every option covered. Jiraiya was not leaving the village, as he intended to stay to fight with Sarutobi, so that they could finally put an end to Orochimaru once and for all. In his time here, he met Karin, and also met Haku as well. Two lovely ladies, if he must say, as he saw that his godson was surpassing him in that area, especially since he heard that the Kumo girls were here as well. He was sure Naruto was having a hard time with them, but the kid would get over it. Well, it's just a part of his charm. But with that out of the way, more serious matters took place, as Jiraiya, the Hokage, as even Naruto was there as well, as he was the one that discovered this plan by helping out the Kazekage's son. Unfortunately, Kazekage was dead now. A meeting was held between the clan heads, and Naruto was included despite not fully taking his seat as a clan head yet. for upcoming preparations for battle. As Naruto figured he should be in this to see how things were set up, not to mention he was a big help. He was the main reason why they even know anything, and doing so they could stop and save multiple lives. So that was a good gesture on his part, despite the others having no idea how exactly did. As the statement that was officially said was that Naruto had befriended the Kazekage-san. After all, it would be weird if he told everyone that he had the ability to see things when they happen despite not even being there himself. Yes, that would make absolute no sense to them, saying that they didn't know his powers or what he was capable of. So it's better that they just keep that part to themselves, for now. So with that, preparations were made, and now it was the final day, well, night, until the Chunin exam tomorrow. As all the dignitaries, all the daimyos had made their way to Konoha, preparations were set up. Jiraiya was here as he was not leaving. And meaning here, Jiraiya was exactly here, as he was currently fast asleep in one of the guest bedrooms inside the Uzumaki compound, as Jiraiya had met Uncle. Again, well, he was the one that placed the counter seal on her mark and Orochimaru placed seal on her. But to find out that she was good friend with his little godson, they started to talk and it somehow turned into a drinking contest, with the both of them drinking themselves into a stupor. Jiraiya had passed out, so Naruto simply brought him towards the compound, after creating a clone to bring Hanko home, and placed her in bed. As she was quite out of it, she didn't even know who was bringing her home. She wouldn't even remember anything tomorrow, other than pure headache from the amount of alcohol that the both of them ingest. As Naruto was currently sitting down, in front of him was Karin as she looked at him. She has been here for a month and couple days now, and it has just been, well, the best time of her life. It's not that anything special happened, it's just she has always been beaten, always been used. So to be at a place where she had people that care about her and told her that he would protect her, it was just something of an anomaly that shocked her to her very core, and to know that she was a part of a clan. But she was still worried. "I don't want to cause you any problems," she said. "What if they find out and come here?" After all, she was an official ninja of Hidden Grass. She went through the academy, even though it wasn't that long, and she became a ninja and she got her headband, even though she was mostly used for their purposes. "I already told you," said Naruto. "I'll handle it." "But how?" she said. "I don't want to cause you any unnecessary problem after all you've done for me." Naruto got up as he made his way. He stood right in front of her. "I told you already I'll protect you. And that means through thick and thin," said Naruto. "So if they want to take you, they will have to go through me first. And I won't let them touch a hair on your pretty little head," he said, as he leaned forward and kissed her right on the forehead. "Good night," he said. "Yeah, good night," she said, flustering a bit, as her cheeks were red. How could someone be so nice, she thought to herself, and so wonderful, as she squealed a bit, and not to mention, so cute. She decided to get some sleep. She will be going to the exam tomorrow with Haku to watch him fight. The next morning, as Sasuke made his way, he had a rather arrogant smirk on his face, ready, as he clenched his fists. He has been training non-stop for the previous month, pushing himself to the absolute limit to get ready for this endeavor, as he was facing off against Rock Lee. From what Kakashi told him, Guy Sensei was the best taijutsu master in the village. So that begs a differ that Lee knew much of his styles, and not to mention, he saw the boy's speed firsthand when he faced off against Hankuru, and he was sure that he was holding back something. His Sharingan had noticed something about his legs, where there seemed to be extra weights. Kakashi told him about extra weighting, something that boosts physical speed and strength when used on arms and legs, and also heavily suppress that person's head strength. So Lee is a lot faster than he seems, so that meant he had to be prepared. He had to be ready for the encounter. He had to show everyone that he was Sasuke Uchiha, the name that all of them should remember. Meanwhile, the colosseum was buzzing with activities. Bets upon bets were being placed, many of them on Naruto Uzumaki versus the girl from Kumo. Many bets had been placed on Naruto. After all, everyone knew that he was a student of Jiraiya, Jiraiya's personal student. Many of them know who Jiraiya's first student was. And he turned to be one of the fastest men alive, one of their greatest Hokage. So, this one, Jiraiya must have saw something important in him as well. Not to mention he looked so much like the fourth Hokage, it was shocking. Blue eyes, blonde hair, his facial feature. It was just quite shocking. But other than that, as everyone has already heard great things about him, and they were ready to see how strong he has become. So many bets were placed on him, as they were intrigued. As everyone was waiting, on the edge of their seat in anticipation, Hinata made her way, as beside her was Naruto, as she had went by his house so the both of them could come here. They weren't so sure that Sasuke would arrive early, seeing that Kakashi was always late, but to their surprise he was here. He was definitely not going to miss a thing. Hinata gulped before she felt a firm hand placed on her shoulder. "Don't worry, there's no need to be nervous," said Naruto. "You've trained for this. You got this." She nodded, as she was rather nervous though. She was going to be facing off against Neji. There was a reason why he was a prodigy of the Hyuga clan. But Naruto told her something that made her look on things a bit different. Hyugas always focus on their same fighting style. Despite her being a part of the family, she knew that, but she never focused on that before. But it was something that he said about it was turning her mind for the past month. And that made her realize something, what she must do. So she was ready for this fight. Naruto-kun was right. She pushed herself hard, and she was ready. As she saw her clan there, most of them had attained. Her father was there, along with Hanabi. As Naruto glanced over, "Oh hey duckbutt," he said. Sasuke eyed twitch as he glared at Naruto. "Like your new name?" Naruto asked. "Hey Hinata." As Naruto held on to her, he placed his two hands in front of her face and framed it towards Sasuke's head. "Just look." As he did the outline of Sasuke's hair, "It looked like a duckbutt, doesn't it?" Hinata giggled a bit. "Naruto-kun, that's not nice. You're hurting Sasuke's feelings," she said. Sasuke scoffed, like someone like him can hurt my feelings. "Alright then, duckbutt. Stop calling me that," said Sasuke. "I thought it wasn't hurting your feelings," said Naruto, as he simply laughed and walked off. Everyone in the arena made their way. All of the Genis that were going to participate. As Naruto saw the Kumo team, well, not team anymore, just member, seeing that the others were kicked out, but his opponent was here though, as he saw Yujito. She glanced towards him with a slight wink, a wink that promised pain. The other Kumo ninjas were up in the stance. Sitting in the box was the Raikage himself. To his right, in the center, was the Hokage, and to the Hokage's left was the Kazekage. The three Kages in one place to watch the unfolding of the Chunin exams. C and Darue was behind the Raikage as his guards. As Killer Bee was somewhere off in the village, he was not up here. He was probably down there with his team. The Kazekage had two guards behind him as well, as Hiruzen had Rado and Aoba for his guards. On top of the roof nearby was Jiraiya, as he knew at any moment something might slip, and he was ready. But Hiruzen had already seen what was going on. He was not called the professor for nothing. He had spoken to the Kazekage time after time again, and never in one of their meetings as the Kazekage fully covered his face. He could tell that this man beside him was not the Kazekage after all, so that was already a dead giveaway. But didn't his old student know that the man never covered himself up like that? If he already didn't know that the Kazekage was dead, that would be a dead giveaway. But Hiruzen kept himself calm and collective at the moment. Everything was being set up. Everything was ready. He knew there probably might be a few in the stands, but his Jonis were all on alert. Despite everyone being laid back, Kakashi and the others had their minds set, ready for the upcoming brawl. Making his way down there, Genma called everyone's attention. As he turned towards Hokage, Hiruzen got up as he gave a speech. Naruto glanced around as he saw that everyone was here. He turned his attention back towards Hiruzen as the man finished his speech. As Naruto tried to feel around, but he felt no negative emotions aimed towards him or anyone else around him. So he decided to focus on Chunin exam for now. He had no idea when the man would strike, as he glanced towards the Kage's boot. Well said, Hokage Dano, said the Raikage. These Chunin exams indeed do bring a kind of communication between villages that will be sheer and hell for a long time. Yes, said the Kazekage. After all, seeing our young bright minds fight, to be ready for anything, taking up the future generation posts, and showing that you're ready for the future, it's just a sight to behold, isn't it? Well said, Kazekage Dano, said Hiruzen with a smile. Well then, shall we intake in these festivities? The Raikage nodded as he said nothing more, as he simply glanced down. The first match. Shikamaru Nara versus Temari of the Sun. As Naruto walked past Shikamaru, who sighed, "Don't worry, you got this," and Naruto as he patted him on the shoulder. As Naruto stopped right beside Temari, she glanced towards him. "What do you want?" she asked. "So you're not gonna apologize," said Naruto. No, she said. "Is that so? Then I guess you don't want to be friends then." "And why would I care?" she asked. "I thought you want to be my friend, so if that's that," said Naruto as he started to walk away. Why should she even care about him? As she watched him leave, what the hell was wrong with her? She shook her head. Ever since he asked her for a kiss, she couldn't get that out of her head. She slept, she dreamed about him. Her thoughts were on him. Damn it, she cursed herself. Just what kind of mind game bullshit was going on? She had to focus herself as she had to focus and fight. Naruto made his way up, along with Sasuke and Hinata, as Yujito stopped right in front of him. As she started to walk, her back turned towards him. If you're trying to get me to stare at your ass, it's working, said Naruto. As a smirk came on her face. I hope you're ready to lose, she said to him. Come on, kitten. We both know that's not gonna be the turnout, said Naruto. I won't be holding anything back on you. So you better be ready to get hurt. Because of all the crap that you pull, it's finally time I can get revenge in an open area to show everyone that you're nothing but a sleazebag. Come on. How can you say that to me? You're really hurting my feelings, said Naruto. Like you hadn't hurt mine, she said. And I apologized over and over. Why won't you accept my apology? Because your apologies don't mean crap. But I already told you what I have to do, said Naruto. So it's not like you can blame me. I'm not talking about your CRE. Before that, did you have it then? Did you have any common knowledge of a CRE before you got back to the village? And before you answer, Naruto-kun, don't lie to me, she said. Her tone, too sweet. You know what will happen if you lie to me. And this time, I'll make it even worse. As Naruto gulped. No, I didn't, he said. So you basically cheat on me then. Well, it's not what she said. Naruto hung his head. Alright, fine. But it was with your close friend, so it's not like I did with a random girl that I barely know. And it's just, I couldn't pick. I mean, your beauty is just outstanding. But the other girls, they get me as well. And I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I mean, how would that sound if I told them that I'm not going to see them or talk to them anymore? Because the most beautiful angel want me to choose her. I just couldn't. Stop it, she said. Stop what, said Naruto. You're flattery. It won't work here. We're gonna fight. Probably after I beat the crap out of you, I'll forgive you, she said. Alright, if that's what you have to do. She grabbed him by the shirt. Don't you dare hold back on me. I want you to be at your best. I want you to fight me with everything you got. If you do that, you'll be disgracing my honor as a Kunoichi if you held back. Do you understand me? Oh, you know me, kitten. I will never disgrace you in any way. Of course I won't hold back. I'll give it my all. That's more like it, she said. As the both of them made their way up, realized that everyone had went by them. Meanwhile, Shikamaru and Nara, where are you going? Asked the proctor. Shikamaru sighed as he got caught sneaking away. Why do I have to fight a girl? What? Got a problem with me? Asked Temari. Yeah. Why does my opponent have to be a girl? This is just a drag, he said. What? Are you afraid? She asked. Of course not. It's just... You wouldn't get it, he said. I wonder if I give up now, it will be... unmoral or what? I mean, I don't want to be a chunin, so... yeah, giving up seemed to be the best option. As he started to raise his hand until he noticed in the crowd his mother. As he gulped, Stop being as lazy as your father. You are not lazy. Stop it. Her annoying voice came back to him. Yeah, she was gonna nag the hell out of him if he ever gave up this easily. Not to mention Ino. Come on, Shikamaru, you can do this. He sighed. Speak of the devil. Alright, begin. He had to leap away as her fan smashed in the ground. She had a bit of anger to work off after all. She couldn't get that damn blonde out of her head. Come on, Temari, you can do this. As she looked to see Kankuro, cheering her on. Beside Kankuro was Gaara. To her surprise, Gaara made a hand out of sand that gave a thumbs up. A smile came to her face. She was happy that she had the little brother back. It was awkward, a bit, but still, he was trying. And she was trying as well. So eventually they would get on good terms. Meanwhile, Orochimaru, that was disguised as a Kage, looked down. He was surprised to hear that Gaara had lost. So he wasn't going to be competing in the finals. He was going up against that Uzumaki brat, so there was no doubt. As Orochimaru knew that he was probably one of his strongest here. But in his little event, accidents happen, and the brat might end up getting killed. Just another way to make Jiraiya suffer and the entire village, taking on one of their strongest, promising ninjas. Not to mention he had the Uchiha to capture. He orders a line of force to capture the Uchiha, with some of his ninjas speared, to take him away from the village. In all this chaos, he looked up at the sun. It was almost time, he smiled to himself. The battle down below didn't last for too long. About in half an hour, Temari came at him as she destroyed almost every tree around the arena. But Shikamaru was smart, incredibly so, as he ended up breaking the ground with an explosive tag, using his shadow underneath to attach it to her. She was shocked when she was whole. But he gave up. A loud cheer of boos could be heard. But the judges saw otherwise. His calculated mind just as any Nara. He sighed. At least this was finally over now, he thought to himself. With that out of the way, as Genma came down. Now for the second match of the Chunin exams. Hinata Hyuga versus Neji Hyuga. Another loud eruption of cheers could be heard, as many people had bet on Neji. But some of them heard about this rising other prodigy. Well, hard work. The girl was not much at first, but she was slowly catching up to the prodigy of the Hyuga clan. And some of them had bet on Hinata, because the odds were great. They bet on Neji. Yes, many of them bet that Neji would win. Some of them bet that Neji would win this entire thing. Some of them bet that Naruto would win this entire thing. Some of them bet on Sasuke. But seeing that the action was mostly on Neji for this battle, the ones that bet on Hinata, well, they hoped for a miracle. As Naruto smiled at her. Good luck, said Sasuke. She nodded. Neji scoffed as he walked past. Get ready for her to kick your ass, said Naruto. He's simply paying Naruto no mind. Arrogant jerk, said Naruto. With that, the both of them made their way down. It's rather wise if you give up right now, Neji said, as they went through the tunnel. Hinata kept her feet straight. No, I won't. You will lose anyway. Why bother? I trained hard enough, and I'm ready. Fate has already declared me the winner. There is no point. She said nothing as they continued to walk. He was angry his tauntings wasn't working on her anymore. Are the both of you ready, Genma asked. The both of them nodded. Alright, begin. They moved so quickly. Their hands a blur. Literal chakra was bouncing off their hands as they smashed together with tremendous force. Neji tried to seal off her points, But to his surprise, Hinata's hands were moving fast. She blocked every attempt that he made. He lashed out with an upward strike, but she leaped back. He wasted no time as he shot forward, a fury of strike. But Hinata blocked all of them. "Dad, she's keeping up nicely," said Hanabi. "Indeed she is," said Hayashi. As the elders and the clan members that were there looked down towards Hinata, the girl had certainly improved. They knew it was because of her new friendship with the Uzumaki. As the boy had boosted her confidence, and the girl has gotten a lot stronger. It seems like the only thing that she needed was confidence, because look how she was keeping up with Neji. Neji stepped back as Hinata activated her Byakugan. He did the same. "I warned you," now he said as he dropped into his stance even lower. The Hyugas narrowed their eyes as the stance was so low, as he went in for a lethal point. "Give up," he said. "No," said Hinata. "Well then, what happened after this is only because of fate." Neji knew that this might have some backlash after all. Killing the heiress towards the clan would be bad on him, but if fate had already declared that he was gonna die, then he was gonna die. There was no changing it. He shot forward. Everyone watching ooh and ah. Their hands were blurs. Strikes after strikes, creating small miniature sound wave. Their hands clashed violently as Hinata dressed back before going through hand signs. The Hyugas gasped. The ones that weren't there for the preliminaries. They heard that she was adapting in different style of fighting, but it was rare to see a Hyuga with ninjutsu different style of fighting. They always focus on their main style. "A Hyuga using ninjutsu," said the Raikage. "I'm surprised." "Well, let's just say she has taken a step further," said the Hokage. As Hinata slammed her hand together, her cheeks bulged as water spewed out of her mouth. It came in a rapid wave towards Neji. Neji leaped up in the air, but she went through another set of hand signs. The water on the ground shoot up towards him like geyser. He twists and dropped fast. As the water came in from all sides, Neji cursed. He then twists on his feet. "Rotation," he said as he spun, blocking all the water spikes that came at him. As he came out of his rotation, he looked over at Hinata. "You won't win," he said, as he shot forward. Hinata moved forward as well as their exchange happened once again. As he was able to get the upper hand and knock her away, she panted a bit. "You're getting tired." "You won't win," he told her again. "Fate has already declared me the winner." "There is no such thing as declaring fate," she said. "We create our own destinies." "Well, if you believe something like that, there is no wonder why you lose today," he said. As Hinata moved forward and ran through hand sign, as Neji saw the chakra in her body moving, it was getting electrified. "What the hell?" "Lightning release," Hinata said. "Lightning wire shockwave." It was a C-rag technique that Kakashi had taught her. As the lightning came out like wires as it shot towards Neji, he leaped as they plunged into the ground. A volt run down them despite it was already electricity, tearing the earth apart a bit. Neji was surprised at the ferocity of that jutsu, so she had both affinities. He twisted in mid-air as another lightning wire came towards him. Hinata had her hands slammed together as the lightning wires just kept on coming. He landed as he struck them with an ear palm. He strike and strike and strike before rushing in towards Hinata, deliver a brutal strike as he saw that she was getting tired. Her arms were trembling as Neji came in to finish her off. But at the last moment, she dropped her arms. They seemed like they were going to drop to her side, but she ran through hand signs so fast it shot Neji. As she pointed her two fingers towards a puddle, Neji cursed as she struck it. He cried out in pain as his body was electrocuting the water, using as an enhancement. He dropped down into the puddle, rolling onto his side. As he winced in pain, smoke coming from his body, Hinata panted, using two C-level rank jutsus, and also keep on expelling chakra while she was using the Byakugan. It took a toll on her. Neji picked himself up. He got back up. Fate has declared me the winner, he said. His body seemed to be in intense pain, but he wouldn't give up. As he moved forward, nothing will stop him, he thought to himself. Stepping forward, he did not stop. He kept on moving. As he walked directly towards her, Hinata stepped back. As her chakra was low, Neji was injured, but he still had chakra. He lashed out, but his movements were slow. She was able to knock away his hand as he winks in pain, before she struck him right in the stomach. He was thrown back as he crashed on the ground. Hinata panted as she made her way over to him. She landed right on his chest as she pinned his arms down to the ground. Give up, she said. It's over. No, said Neji. I'm sorry, she said. He looked up at her confused. I'm sorry that you went through so much because of me. If I wasn't so small, so young, if I was just able to protect myself that night, you wouldn't have lost so much because of me. And I apologize. I know that you hate me. And I don't like it. I want you to be my big cousin. To be there for me. But because of everything, it's hard for you to do that. And I know this is my fault. You blame me for it. And I can accept that blame. But can you please try to find a way to move on from the past, she asks. Please, she said. I don't want this to tear us apart. We're a family. We shouldn't be acting this way. Neji felt water drop on his shirt. She was crying. He looked up at her. She accepted the blame. He thought like every others, she would say that it wasn't her fault. Everyone said that it wasn't her fault. Yes, she was 3 years old, but if she hadn't been kidnapped, and his father hadn't been switched place to protect her father, then his life wouldn't have turned out this way. But she accepted the blame. If you want to hate me, just go ahead and hate me. But please find a way to get past this in time. But you can hate me for as long as you want, okay? She said. Just find a way to get past it. Neji felt his eyelids growing heavy as his body was racking with pain. He was too exhausted to reply. Jinma came over. Winner! Hinata Ayuga! He reached towards her hand to raise it, but she fell as he caught her before she could hit right on Neji. He picked the girl up as he placed her on the stretcher that came out as another one came for Neji and took the both of them away. As Naruto smiled. Well, I'll give her that. She stuck in there even though it looked like she wasn't going to win, said Yujito, as she noticed a bright smile on Naruto's face. You look almost like a proud father. In a way I am, said Naruto. What? As Naruto glanced towards Sasuke, who was smiling. Come on, said Naruto as he placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder. Don't hide it, because Sasuke turned his head the moment he saw Naruto looking at him. She did well, and we're happy for her. We're her teammates after all. Sasuke simply shrugged him off. Sasuke considered a voice. Sasuke turned towards Rock Lee, who was giving him a big thumbs up. It seems like we are next to impart in our splendid battle, he said. As the cheers went off loud when Sasuke Uchiha's name was called. Well, you two, said Naruto as he placed a hand on both of their shoulders. Do your best. Lee, try not to hurt him so bad. Sasuke's eye twitched as he glared at Naruto, who simply laughed. The both of them made their way down there, Lee with a big smile on his face. Sasuke had a rather arrogant smirk, as he was going to show off what he learned after all. Who do you think is going to win? Asked Yujito. Can't really tell you, said Naruto. Lee is a powerhouse when it comes to natural fighting. The boy is incredibly strong, and not to mention the gates. But Sasuke has been training hard. Yes, he has put in a lot of effort and work. His speed was already impressed before, so I'm not too sure, he said. You're uncertain about something, said Yujito. Yeah, said Naruto. Let's just say it's a first. Well, maybe it's not the first to come. What's that supposed to mean? Naruto asked. Oh, nothing, she said, a smile on her face. Are the both of you ready? Back up in the Kage's booth, it seems that this is the match that everyone came to see. The Uchiha is now participating. It should be an interesting match after all, said the Raikage. Finishing up for the Kazekage. Yes indeed, the Kazekage said. Harrison said nothing as he decided to keep his mouth shut. As the Kazekage smiled under his veil, Orochimaru smirked towards himself. His tongue came out and licked his lips before going back in. That body will be his. With his Sharingan at his disposal, he will be unstoppable, he thought to himself. He just waited for the event to play out. These two nations that he was using did not know that he was simply using them. In fact, he was simply using his own as well. He didn't care who live or die, as long as everything go according to plan. As he looked back up at the sun, it was almost time. Are the both of you ready, Genma asked. The both of them nodded. As Genma raised his hand, he dropped it. Begin! Let's have a splendid match, Sasuke said Lee. Sasuke said nothing as he slipped into his stance. Both boys then move. As up in his stance, Sakura blinked. Whoa, Sasuke has gotten faster, she said. He's not that fast, said Kiba. You're just jealous, said Sakura. Hey, don't go cheering on Sasuke too much. Remember, we still have someone in the finals that we have to cheer on. Oh yeah, Shino. I almost forgot about him. Huh. You're not alone, said Kiba. Both boys' fists clash. As Lee smirked. It seems like you have gotten faster. I'm happy for the challenge, he said. Meanwhile, a distance away from the village, unknown to anyone, chaos was gonna erupt soon enough, as there was two Jinchurikis making their way towards Konoha to cause problem, their body already fluctuating with demonic chakra. As the event was about to begin, the event that would change the history from now on, as a whole lot of problem was gonna start back up. Thanks to the snake Sanin, it might even break out in another Shinobi War. Perhaps the fourth Shinobi War. This early? Well, you guys have to wait to see because I'm going to be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. But more for now, see you guys soon. Peace.